Since that announcement, he's received some support, but a lot of backlash, many calling him childish, despicable, even calling for things like execution. In a statement Webb gave to ITMate, he says, quote, "It is unfortunate that I cannot simply be given the same space and respect to explore my identity that so many of those targeting me demand for themselves. It's possible I may change my mind down the road."
Hey folks, Dale Jackson here. Thank you very much for joining us. Let's talk to a pretty interesting guy doing a pretty interesting thing. And in fact, calling him a guy might be wrong in this situation. I might be misgendering him. His name is Ryan Webb. He is a county councilperson in Delaware County, Indiana, and he has made a lot of news over the last couple of weeks, especially in the last 24 hours, because one Matt Walsh has tweeted out his story, and we're going to learn about how that's going. So let's welcome Miss Webb, I guess. I know you said your pronouns are still he, him, but here's what went down as I understand it. You made a Facebook post a couple of weeks ago coming out as both a transgender female and an Indian American. Now, I've got to ask, is this a Native American Indian, or are we talking about the country of India?
Yes, Dale. I'm glad you asked that question. I'd like to clarify. And to make it easy on everyone at home, I am continuing to retain my he, him pronouns. I have continued to go by Ryan. Nothing's changed. Absolutely no one in my life who knows me will know anything different other than the fact that I just simply declared my gender identity as a woman of color. Now, the reason why the woman of color comes into play is that I do have an extensive history of Native American bloodline. So it's not India as in like the country India, it's Native American, and that's what gives me my privilege as a strong woman of color.
Well, I appreciate that and letting us know exactly what's going on. We honor your ancestors, obviously, as much as you do. So let's talk a little bit about how this has gone since then. You've announced this, I believe, and I would think that the national media would jump all over this. You are probably the first transgender woman of color to represent almost anyone, anywhere. And I think it's pretty amazing, or at least one of the first, if not the first. So I must have missed these stories when like Rachel Maddow would have you on, and Joy Reid and Anderson Cooper. So how's the national media been treating you? How's that all that attention been?
Well, I appreciate that question, and I can't say if I'm the first woman of color on a national stage. I will confirm that I am the very first woman of color Delaware County councilman. Now, last I heard, I don't think they're planning on giving me any awards for that, but we did clarify that I am indeed the first woman of color on the Delaware County Council. Now, as far as national goes, I've not really heard a lot from some of those folks. Obviously you said Matt Walsh did tweet out the story, and it's funny because I'm getting a lot of support from my fellow conservatives, but the liberal side and the Democrat political left, I've not really heard much from them. Matter of fact, I guess the best way to say it is the whole ideology has crumbled to pieces. It turns out that if you're not really in their club or they don't believe you, they really don't feel as strongly about anyone can be anything that they want as they would like you to think that they do.
That's pretty funny that you say that, because I believe at one of your county council meetings, you had people coming and demanding you resign, which I think sounds pretty racist and sexist, that they would ask that you resign solely because of your identity now. You're playing by their rules. Their rules are anyone can be anything at any time, and you said, okay, I am a trans woman and an Indian American. Now, they don't like that, so they've come after you. Were they Klan members, neo-Nazis, Proud Boys? Who were these people that came to the city council, and what were they saying to you and the other council members?
Well, contrary to what would be expected, it wasn't Proud Boys, neo-Nazis, or Klan members. It was some high school students, some liberal high school students, some people from the Indiana Progressives group, some of the local Democrats here in Muncie, Indiana, Delaware County. They come at me, and the biggest hang-up they had was the fact that I wasn't requiring anyone else to play along, and I made it clear, I fully acknowledge my own delusion of identifying as a woman of color, but what I will not do is ask you to participate in my delusion. And once that happened, boy, they got big mad about that. And I just living my life on my terms, and unfortunately, these folks had a lot to say about it. I didn't ask anyone to affirm me. I didn't ask anyone to confirm my identity. I didn't ask them to do anything, and that seems to be what's made them the most upset about it, is that I'm not demanding that everyone else go along with it.
Has anybody respected this? Like, you've come out again as an Indian American and a trans woman. Is anyone respecting you? When they came and they called for your resignation, did they address you as Madam Councilperson or something along those? Were they respectful of your newfound identity?
Well, I give them a little bit of break on that because I made it clear that I'm not changing my name or my pronouns in him. So there was a few that sarcastically did refer me to as a madam or miss, and most of them were upset that I hadn't done anything. But I've not made a big deal about this, but because again, I'm not trying to make a big thing, draw a bunch of attention. But most people don't know this, but I actually did change my name. Formerly, I was known as Ryan, and Ryan. And from that day forth, when I made this announcement, I now go by Ryan, but it's now the girl version of Ryan. It's not the male version anymore.
Oh. So I apologize. I apologize because I've been referring to you as the male version of Ryan, and I've misgendered you. And I know that is violence, and you're obviously experiencing a lot of violence right now with this happening. And it's pretty unfortunate because all you're trying to do is express your love. The local LGBTQ chapters of Pride and all these other things, I'm sure they've invited you to come speak to them or offered you well wishes and stuff like that, offered you their support and resources. Is that true?
Well, funny it's not, because now I have received several calls from people across the country from that community wishing me nothing but love and support. And to those people, I say thank you and kudos, and I appreciate that. Genuine calls of support. The locals, though, for whatever reason, they tend to not believe me. I'm someone known as pretty outspoken. Some would call me the most outspoken elected official in all of Delaware County. And I guess they just thought because it was me specifically that they weren't going to believe nothing that I said. I will take that back. One of them did tell me that once I started dressing in women's clothes, taking hormone treatments, changing my pronouns, and doing all the things that they believed a caricature of a woman would do, then I would be accepted. And I just shared with that person that that's not necessarily my viewpoint as a woman, but I thank them for offering me their viewpoint.
Well, I think that's beautiful, and I'm upset that they kind of demanded that of you, because who are they to demand what you do in order to get them to feel that you are a woman? You've decided you're a woman, and by their rules, that's the way it is. Has Bud Light contacted you? Will there be a can? Again, I'd like to point this out. Transgender, woman of color, one of the first to hold elected office anywhere, surely the first as a Republican to hold elected office in that way. And you would think that Bud Light would be sending you maybe a keg with your face on it. Have they done that, and will you be drinking it?
Well, that's a great question, and I've not been contacted by Bud Light. I've left the door open. I don't know if you can see here, but I'm actually drinking a Coors Light here, but I've covered it up because I don't want to mess up any future endorsement deals with Bud Light. So the door's open. Anybody wants to do an endorsement? I've taken a couple speech classes back in 7th grade, and I think we can do something pretty serious here.
Your fellow council members, surely they have been completely accepting of you and have embraced you in the bravery you're showing here.
I would think so, because I'm a Republican, and our entire council is Republicans, and I've been reached out from Republicans all across the country offering support. However, my local council hasn't addressed it at all. Matter of fact, one of them unfriended me on Facebook over it. But the rumors that I've been told is that they are actually not told. I've seen a screenshot where they communicated to someone is that they are planning on releasing a statement condemning my actions. So, no, I've not received any support from my council or the local Republican Party. They haven't said anything, but from what I hear, when they do say something, it's not going to be positive.
Which is very unfortunate they're not supporting you. As we close out, I guess I should ask you the required question here in this issue. You have identified yourself as a transgender woman of color. What is a woman?
Well, see, I'm glad you asked me that question, and that's kind of what led me down this road. I was kind of feeling a little bit funny, and I wasn't really sure what it was. So, I heard some people talking, and they said only a woman knows what a woman is, and I thought, well, hell, maybe this is it. So I tried to look it up, and I looked up everywhere, kept typing it in Google, and I couldn't find a definition nowhere. So I just kind of assumed, well, if they say only a woman knows what a woman is, and I'm definitely feeling something, then maybe this is it. So, you know what? I must be a woman. And, like I said previously in my statement, that this journey, this complex journey of gender discovery and who you are, we don't never know where it takes us. And oftentimes, we end up right back where we started. So who knows?
As another middle-aged white male like you, who maybe is confused about his gender identity, I find what you're doing inspirational. And maybe this will motivate other people to take the same gender journey you have. Maybe for a month, maybe for a week, I don't know. But it is brave nonetheless. You've put the work in here, as the activists tell us. And I look forward to seeing you all over the place spreading your transgender message and transracial message. Very, very brave for you to take this on. I know that if people do not affirm you, and that's what it has to be, affirmation. If they do not affirm you, you might commit suicide. That's the thing. So I affirm you. I tell you I affirm you. I hope everyone else will affirm you in the future. And I appreciate you being here. Ryan Webb, you are a county council person in Delaware County, Indiana. You're very brave. I'll give you the last word here. What are you hoping to accomplish with this?
Well, I'm hoping that we can just raise some awareness to this. It seems like the sky is the limit on, what anybody can be. If you can dream it, you can be it. And, I'm happy to shatter that glass ceiling and pave the way for anyone else who knows what the kid tomorrow will want to be. So, kudos to you. And as long as everyone just goes along with it, and that's where we'll go.
All right, ma'am. Thank you very much for being here. I hope Bud Light reaches out to you and the national media starts doing their job as well. We look forward to seeing you around. Thank you very much. Keep us updated. Keep posting on Facebook and telling us what's going on. We appreciate it. Again, Ryan Webb, county council person, the first of color and transgender female to represent Delaware County, Indiana. Thank you very much for being here. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.